I need all the Chelsea fans to come here right now. They were talking about 3-0 this, Club World Cup final that, bro. All right, congratulations. We got it back in blood. Not one, not two, not three, not four. Five. Look at that. Five. Five. That's my club, man. That's my club. That's my club. Your club wish you could. When's the last time Chelsea let in five? Five. Not even Arsenal put five on them. I don't remember. I genuinely can't remember. That's how long it's been since they conceded 5 goals. What a game today. We had amazing games today in the Champions League. We're going to cover them all. But firstly, we're going to cover PSG, Paris Saint-Germain versus Chelsea. What a game, bro. 5-2. And I got to be honest, I had no confidence going into this game whatsoever. Let me pull up the FOT mob, man. Because what are we talking about? This game was absolutely wide open, electric. It was proper UCL footy. None of this Arsenal, corner FC, set piece FC. None of that, clunky and just purely unethical Newcastle type ball. You feel me? None of this Haram ball. Not that that's really happening with Atletico anymore, but this is proper. This is a proper UCL classic. You feel me? And this game is proper UCL heritage. All right, this is Champions League heritage. PSG Chelsea. This is like a historical tie, bro. You need to understand. Look at the head-to-heads, bro. This is rivalry, bro. This is rivalry. And this is not even like, there's some like other games in here, but in the Champions League, this is proper rivalry. And this goes back, to 04, I think, 03, 05. Like, this is proper. I remember Drogba put it on us in 04, bro. For those of us who remember, shout out my guy, I'm forgetting his name, but I just came across his content. The guy who does, for those of us who remember, that guy, man, he's great. But yeah, man. What a game. What a game today. I had no confidence. I thought when this lineup came out, it was the lineup I expected for the most part. I didn't expect KVARA to be benched, and we'll get to KVARA. But I was like, okay, this makes sense. We're going to have Barclay there, obviously take the top off the defense. Some people were throwing around Doué in midfield. I didn't like it because Doué's a little bit insecure as far as, keeping the ball. And he's very risky with his passes, so it's very high risk, high reward. I didn't know if that's what we needed in midfield today. I preferred him much out on the wing, and hey, I'm right just by the way the game went today. But my goodness, bro. My goodness, what a game, man. I had no confidence. I really thought we were going to eat, 3 or 4 goals by Chelsea, maybe score 2. The best case scenario for me was like a 2-2 draw, which that went out the window very quickly. But yeah, I think PSG showed up today, man. We showed up today in a big way. We looked really tired, and we looked really unorganized and dysfunctional and all of the things. And we somehow, some way, brought it all back for one night. And my goodness, how incredible, man. How incredible. Chelsea, on the other hand, my God, that CV duo, stinky. My goodness. Oh my gosh. But that center back duo, man, Fofana and Chalobah, the way they lined up is what I expected. I don't know why Leo Senior decided to drop Philip Jorgensen, or not Philip Jorgensen, rather Robert Sanchez today for Philip Jorgensen. Thought that was weird, especially after you saw what happened with Kinski yesterday. You're like, why would you that would probably advise me myself, as if I was a coach, to not do that, right? Like, just trust your keeper just for now. But you want to bring in your backup keeper, or you want to change keepers in a UCL tie against the reigning European champions, the reigning Ligue 1 champions, the reigning French Super Cup holders, the reigning Coupe de France champions, the reigning UEFA Intercontinental champions, the reigning UEFA Super Cup champions. Come on. And yeah, I had to list them all because that's the type of level that we're working with. Anyway, this game was incredible, man. I have to start. We can talk about the attack. We can talk about the midfield, but I have to start with this man right here, Willian Pacho de Ecuador, de Independiente del Valle. My goodness. Willian Pacho. João Pedro was scoring for fun in England. João Pedro ain't never seen nothing like William Pacho. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. The same way for years and years from 2012 to 2020 that Europe had underrated Thiago Silva when he was giving us golden years after golden years after golden years. And they didn't rate him until he went to Chelsea, which was dumb in my opinion. He was given his prime in Paris was absolutely immaculate. It's the same thing with William Pacho. And unfortunately for Thiago Silva, he didn't get his Champions League. Pacho got his, so I think he gets a little bit more credit. But the best CB in the world plays for Paris Saint-Germain, plays for PSG. But because, we're PSG, right? Feels like it's illegal to rate it. Like we can't have the best players in the world. We have the best player in the world, and we have the best center back in the world. William Pacho, job well done. Oh my goodness. Let's clap it up for William Pacho, man. Round of applause. Now, Nuno's rating here doesn't look great, but I think he did a marvelous job. He didn't really mark Cole Palmer the entire game. That went on to João Neves, who I'm also going to give a lot of praise to. But I love the offensive, variety that Nuno provided today. He was slick, and he just ran a lot. And a lot of people say that first goal might be on Nuno. I think it's more of a collective failure. You see, if Nuno we're playing man to man marking. Everybody's marking. It's like basketball, right? You're switching everything. So that means if Nuno is marking Cole Palmer once and then someone's running behind him, João Neves can switch on to Cole Palmer and Nuno Mendes can take on the runner, right? And you're just continuously doing that. So that can get you into some weird coverage matchups for a short period of time, right? And that's what happened with Nuno, right? He was marking Pedro Neto all the way on the right-hand side of the pitch. The ball goes out, and Nuno doesn't have a lot of time to get back to the other side of the goal. And that's how that first goal from Chelsea happens, right? And Gusto's just free because Barcola and Neves, they don't communicate, so they let Gusto run behind them. And Nuno's still trying to get to the other side. He's a little bit slow getting back. You can give him a little bit of flack for that. But I think collectively you need to communicate. Okay, you see Nuno's on the right-hand side of the pitch. Cover that left-hand side until Nuno gets back there. That's just how it works, right? And I think last year this mistake doesn't happen. But I digress. Okay, man, this game was phenomenal. Let's go through it goal by goal. But before we get to the goals, I also want to give a lot of credit to these two right here, João Neves, who absolutely hung with Cole Palmer every step of the way. He's basically a left back, a right back, center mid, CDM, whatever you want him to be, he can do it, man. Absolutely incredible footballer. One of the best central midfielders in the world, right there in the Pedris and the Vitinhas and the Bellinghams, the Rice, whatever you want to say, man. He should be there. And then this guy, Bradley Barcola, man, showed out today. His pressing was absolutely perfect. Obviously, as that contributed to one of the goals today by Vitinha. But my gosh, man, that first goal, the way we've been begging him to do, right? Bradley Barcola couldn't finish if his life was on the line. You would not trust Bradley Barcola to finish a goal, right? This guy has a finishing issue, but I think the danger that he brings to the pitch was always his best attribute, and then getting the finishing was the cherry on top. That goal, the first goal that got us the lead today, Dembele crosses it to João Neves. João Neves heads it back to Barcola, chests it down, half volley into the top left corner, unguardable. Absolutely electric performance today, electric goal. Gotta give him his due, man. All right, let's break the game down a little bit more, goal by goal. Obviously, we just went over Barclay's goal and we went over Gusto's goal, but then Dembele's goal. Now, this is the PSG we like to see, man. This is the PSG we like to see, and this comes from a Chelsea chance. So, we defended just well enough, I guess, to get this. And, you could also say Chelsea didn't convert their chances because we did give them a lot of chances today. And that's another topic I'm going to get into a little bit later, but we were a little porous today in defense. It's easy to say that. You can't really defend that. But this Dembele goal, man. Cole Palmer gets in, misses his shot. It gets saved. Cleared. Doué gathers the ball, sidesteps a challenge, and sends it right through Dembele on the last line, who's run past Fofana and Cucurella. And now it's just Dembele and the goalkeeper. And, as much of a Ballon d'Or as he is, I still get nervous. When he gets in front of goal because, you just never know. He still might send it into, row 27. So with that being said, Dembele's in on goal. Hakimi's running with him. Goes to the left side. Dembele fakes and chops it to his left. Fakes the pass to Hakimi. Chops it back to his right. And then finishes across Fofana and the goalkeeper into the bottom left corner. I'm thinking, all right, we're going into the half. We're up 2-0, or 2-1 rather. This is great. And what a goal by Dembele. Love the celebration. If you watch the celebration, it's just aura, bro. It's aura. Halftime comes, and right out the gate, I'm not feeling the intensity. It's not bad, but Chelsea are growing into the game, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, they might come back here. And lo and behold, just off of a weird pass by Nuno Mendes, where Hakimi kind of leaves it for Doué, and Doué does not react at all. And subsequently, after he's obviously subbed off for this, but yeah, he doesn't react. Pedro Neto gets it instead, drives up the pitch, and all of a sudden, Chelsea are in on goal. Marquinhos bites on Pedro Neto's fake. Pedro Neto cuts it back to Enzo Fernandez, making a trailing run, and it's 2-2. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't think we're getting out of here with a win, man. We just can't defend because, like I said, we've been porous. Chelsea were having a lot of opportunities, and we're very lucky that Chelsea didn't convert on all of them. There's a few. Neto had a few. I think João Pedro might have had one. I know for sure Cole Palmer missed one, right? And like there was Enzo Fernandez had one too that he just skied. Like there was a few opportunities for Chelsea to really put the ball in the back of the net, and they did not convert those chances. But on the other hand, I ain't complaining, okay? Because I don't know how, but when KVARA came on, man, we turned it into something crazy because KVARA comes in, he starts on the right, he instantly draws a foul. Incredible performance by KVARA, man. Instantly draws a foul, gets us going, and then Barcola, like I said, pressing, and he gets us that third goal by Vitinha. Very well done. Vitinha to have the wherewithal to know to lob it over the goalkeeper because the goalkeeper's off his line and the defenders are off the line. Incredible, man. Incredible awareness. And then on top of that, this KVARA goal. What a banger. What a banger. Gets the ball. Cuts in, chops. Waiting. He's chopping across the blocks, just waiting for the window to open up. And then boom, like that. That's what the best wingers do, man. Cuts it in 90 degrees, waits for the window to open up right in between Reece James and like Nuno Mendes and Fofana, the Chelsea defenders, right over the goalkeeper's hand. He just sees it. 100% accuracy, fires it into the back of the net. My God, what a goal. My goodness. Delicious. And then lastly, we finish it off with another KVARA goal. And this goal for me is very important, and we'll get to why it's so important later. But KVARA scores this last goal. What happens is we win the ball back. Vitinha passes it down to Hakimi. I actually think it was a back heel. It might have been a back heel. He might have passed it to Lee. Lee gave a back heel to Hakimi, and we're off and we're running. And I'm thinking, nah, surely we don't score another one. But Hakimi just pauses for a quick second and finds just the right amount of space to get that ball into KVARA in the middle of the box. KVARA sidesteps it in with the side of his foot. My gosh, what a goal. My goodness, what a goal, man. Jurgensen kind of got some fingers on it. You could say it was savable, but in that angle, it's always incredibly difficult. I don't really blame the goalkeeper there unless it's within his body, and I didn't think it was within Jurgensen's body. Great goal by KVARA to put us up 3 goals and end the game on a goal. That's fantastic. It reminds me a little bit of that Villa first leg last year when Nuno Mendes scored that goal to put us up 3-1 when going to Villa Park. Whew, that was a lot, but what a game. I had to go through it step by step because the performances today were electric. We're so solid. Marquinhos got caught in behind a couple of times, by Pedro Neto, but honestly, with the result, I'm not even going to complain, man. Guys did their job. We pressed hard. We gave him trouble. Pacho completely marked out João Pedro out of the game. Like, he was non-existent, man. He was just, the only time you saw João Pedro was him in Pacho's like actual pocket. Like, Pacho was literally holding it, man. It was so hilarious. Incredible game, incredible game. And yeah, Luis Enrique can be proud, man. What a way to get this team back up and firing. Woof, man. What a game. What a game. And I loved the substitution near the end for Lucas Hernandez and Mayulu to come in. I think that was really great to give us some defensive security, but also because Nuno's a defender, he's still going to press the ball like a defender. And that's what we need, that tenacity, right? That tenacity was huge. And honestly, there was this one offside goal that we got, and I really wish we had scored that too, because imagine if this was 6-2, man. Oh man, the tie would be over. But still, 3 goals, it's a lot. It's a lot. And let's talk about the next side. And we can talk a little bit about Chelsea. Cole Palmer, like I said, João Neves took him out of the game, man. João Neves absolutely dogged him, man. It was incredible. Reece James had a tough time in midfield. Same with Caicedo. And like, yeah, that rough and tumble, you feel me? That athletic PL midfielder, yeah, it's great. But when you have smart and robust midfielders like Paris Saint Germain, you cannot compete. And that's what we have, complete midfielders. Not just guys who can, give you a challenge or is stocky, or can hold the ball up. Like these guys can keep the ball, play around you. Man, I saw Neves and Vitinha playing like Rondo with a guy. Like you know what I'm saying? That's demoralizing for a team. And that's what we have, man. Best midfield in the world, man. Don't you even, bro, if Fabian comes back, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started, man. Okay, I'm done waxing lyrical about my team. I'm kidding. Let's talk about next week, okay? Because Stamford Bridge, it's still tough. Chelsea in the UCL, they're still they still got a little bit of that pedigree. And like I like to say, football's played on the day, right? Legacy doesn't play for you, but my gosh. My gosh, my gosh, my gosh. The stuff that Chelsea have done in the past, I'm still a little bit scared. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. But look, and the reason I'm scared isn't because Chelsea are that good. Like, they're a good team, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you Chelsea's a bad team. What I am going to tell you is PSG leave opportunities for Chelsea. Like I'm scared there could be a 3-0, right? It could be another 3-0 Club World Cup final. That's enough, right? Penalties, extra time. I don't want to see this PSG team in extra time. We're already tired. I don't want to see that. And they don't want to do that. So, we got to score once or twice in Stamford Bridge and I think we'll be okay. But it's got to be twice. I don't think 3 is enough simply because the risk is too high, right? The way we're pressing and we're leaving space in behind, it has to be immaculate. And now this is where you start thinking about, how are these teams going to set up next week? Because let's think about it. If you're PSG, you don't really want to sit back and let all that pressure get onto you. Like, right, with Atleti, who had won 4-0 versus Barca, and then they went to Barcelona, and then they sat back, right? And then Barcelona almost made it. They almost came back. Because when you sit back, you're just inviting pressure. It's almost a do or die thing, but you'd probably rather go down fighting for it than letting it be fought for you. You know what I mean? You don't want to be sitting back in the block, waiting and waiting. Like, we're not Arsenal, bro. Okay, we're not that kind of team. We gotta control the ball, keep possession, score goals, make the gap wider, and then if it's still 3 goal gap in the 60th minute, maybe you can ease up a tad. But even then, I think that's a lot, But like, we got to see it through, man. As far as I'm concerned, the 3 goal is not enough. I don't think Chelsea are entirely out of it. And I'm not here like trying to be like super, superstitious or anything, and not say my team's ready to go through. What I am trying to say is the flaws still exist. They don't just go away next week, right? So we have to still play like our lives depend on it. Simple as that, man. Chelsea, I think next week they might. If I'm Chelsea, like if I'm being objective, I wouldn't even start Cole Palmer next week. I would start Garnacho. I would start like my fastest players. I might even go 4 attackers if I'm Chelsea. Like, I'm not talking Enzo playing the 10. I'm talking maybe you put Palmer at the 10, Garnacho or Neto on the right, and the other one on the left, right? Like, or maybe even go double striker, Delap, right? and you play Palmer and Neto, or Neto and Garnacho. Like you gotta feel me. You gotta bring it to bring up 3 goal gap. You gotta bring it. So we'll see what they do. Obviously, you go for 4 attackers. You're leaving yourself vulnerable in other areas, but not much else you can do, man. Not much else you can do, man. Yeah, they just. I mean, the Chelsea defense was horrid today. Midfield got outplayed. Enzo got his GAs, so he's got a high score here, but that whole midfield got done up. I'm not gonna lie to you, and it wasn't like domination. Like it was a very even game at times, but PSG we just in the end, those individual mistakes that Chelsea made and the individual brilliance that we have won it for us in the end, and that's what we love to see. And that's not like lucky. It's not a lucky win, right? I want to make this clear. I genuinely want to clear things up here. When people bring up individual brilliance, it's almost as if it's luck. Like, individual brilliance. It's just, they're just individually brilliant. No, no, it's not luck. Okay, what it is a reflection of the squad building, right? Of the sporting director to say, hey, I want to go get that guy. I'm gonna make sure that guy plays for my team. It's a reflection of recruitment, great recruitment, right? That's not, oh, he's just better because I guess like this is calculated, okay? It's a skill issue. If you don't like it, go cry elsewhere, man. And PSG, collectively brilliant, individually brilliant today. Oh my gosh. Hakimi had a great game. Zaire Emery held it down, man. Dembele, that goal was marvelous. Pressed like per usual. Love to see him get subbed off too. I think that kept us fresh, and it gave KVARA something to prove. It felt like, right? I think KVARA had a little bit of a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And if this is what that looks like, then this is what we want to see. Oh my gosh. What a great game. What a great game. What a great game, man. And I thought City was going to come in here and mollywop them. This was the worst Madrid side I've seen in the last 5 years, right? I think anyone would agree, even Madridistas. What they did today, I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words because you see the lineup they put out, and you're thinking to yourself, where is the danger here? Where is it? I remove the goals. Don't look at the goals. But like, if you just look at the names, you're like, man, it's just Vinny and Co. Right in attack. Like this is weird. But Arbeloa had a tactical plan, and they executed it to perfection. To go on the counter, to play long, play over City. Right? Don't play with City. Don't play through City. You have to play over City, and you have to play behind City. Right? And that's what they did. There's runs and runs and runs in behind. And that's why Valverde had a crazy hat trick. Oh my gosh. That first goal, Courtois, route one, right? Right over O'Reilly. And Valverde dribbles past Donnarumma. And let me tell you about Donnarumma in the Bernabeu. You see my jersey, man. 2022, 3-1. Right? Madrid, Paris, 3-1. Donnarumma in the Bernabeu, man. Stinky, man. So great result for Madrid, and honestly, for City, it's like what is going on? In my particular question for City and Pep Guardiola is, why is Ryan Cherky not starting these games? Ryan Cherky, whenever he's on the pitch for City, is irresistible. Like you see the game when you watch him, right? Like they were talking about that with Busquets and stuff, but with Cherky, you see the game. You don't even see the next action with Cherky. He just brings something from out of nowhere. Like it's genius. It's actually genius with Cherky. So why is he not starting games? What is the issue? Like, is it because he doesn't run? Maybe, but just look at the opposition you're up against. They were gonna let you have the ball anyway. If you want to bench Cherky versus a Chelsea or a team that's gonna press you high, okay, sure, because you want to be able to counter press back. But if Madrid is gonna let you have all the possession, I mean, look, you got 60% possession. If you're going to have that much possession, you might as well let Cherky have the ball and be on the field for the majority of time. When he came on, he was already creating things too. He came on for what, like 12 minutes or something? Like it was not that long. He came on for 20 minutes. And he was creating opportunities still. And I'm just very confused as to why Cherky's not in favor at Manchester City. I don't know what the issue is. Why can't you play just a regular 4-3-3 or even a 4-2-3-1, right? And then you put Cherky in the the attacking midfielder in the 10. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't really understand that if I'm Pep Guardiola. I don't see it. But look, man, hats off to Real Madrid. They this is like when they talk about nights in the Bernabeu and special UCL nights and all that stuff about Madrid, right? All this aura and stuff. But this is the type of games that add to it, right? These are the games that where it's like, man, yeah, this is pedigree, right? At their lowest moment, you think they're not gonna get it done, and they got it done. That's incredible. That's how I kind of feel about PSG today. Like PSG struggled immensely, and a lot of people. Well, it was a little bit. That wasn't as bad as Manchester City and Madrid, right? Where people were saying City all the way. PSG and Chelsea was a little more 50-50, but a lot of people had PSG losing because of our poor form, right? And we're definitely at our lowest form in the season right now. But then we got it done today, and that's what Real Madrid did, and that's what they've been doing. So, congrats to them. You know, Pep Guardiola just got completely out tactic here, outclassed. Like I don't know what to say. It's almost like baffling to see. You're thinking guys like Guehi, Semenyo, right? They would make the difference, but no, man. Valverde made the difference. I mean that third goal was incredible. It was like watching Dennis Bergkamp highlights, right? The way he taps it around Guehi and then finishes. My gosh. And the weak foot finish for the second goal. Donnarumma had no chance, man. It's just so weird, right? Like all the signs suggest that Real Madrid should have lost this game, but Real Madrid did not get the memo. An incredible performance. Everyone looked great on there, man. It felt like a throwback. And you know what's so funny about this? They did all of this without the main man, the 50 GA man, Kylian Mbappe. And this might be the best Madrid's looked. And to their credit, they didn't have to keep the ball, right? They didn't have to find a lot of solutions. The solutions presented themselves because of the way City naturally play. You have to play over the top, right? If you're talented enough to do so, you're going to get some success. And yeah, I mean, that's what they did. They played to their strengths. Arbeloa set them up well. Three midfielders, really five, right? Because Diaz, you could say, is a midfielder. Obviously, Valverde. And like all of those guys can make a line for you, and you have Vinny up top doing whatever he want to do, right? But you're gonna be secure in midfield. You're not gonna get overrun, and you're gonna have guys with those midfielders, especially guys who can make the right progressive pass because that's just the way they play, right? They're still attacking minded in a sense. But guys like Guler, guys like Diaz are gonna make good passes, man. That pass that Diaz had for Valverde was incredible. Like those, they're not even just line breaking, but they're like provoking, right? That's what you want to see. They're dangerous, and yeah, I think City just they could not handle it, and it's so weird to me. That's so weird, but yeah, to look this good without Kylian Mbappe, what does that say for Real Madrid? You don't need Mbappe back for the rest of the season if you can perform like this. The thing is, are you willing to play as the inferior team, right? Are you willing to play as the team that sits back, that lets the opponent have the ball, that, won't necessarily offer the most entertaining football that Madrid usually do, but rather will say, hey, we're going to get you the results at least. The results, not the performance, but the results. You're not going to get, PSG 2025, Barca 11, or Madrid 2014 to 18. We're gonna sit back and we're just gonna play counter, counter, counter. I think that might be something they want to do if they want a title. Are they willing to make that sacrifice? I don't know, but hats off to Madrid, man. Hats off to Madrid because they proved me and everybody wrong. I'm sure all the guys who had parlays today was like, yeah, City, City to win, Holland to score all like over 2.5 goals. But my gosh, Madrid did not write back, even though we wrote him off. Incredible. Increíble, as they say in Spanish. Now you're thinking, is this tie over? I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't sit here and say, yeah, this tie's over because it's still City. They can still put three on you. Now, if Vinny didn't miss that penalty, and this missed penalty might come back to bite him. It reminds me just a little bit of Liverpool Barca with the Dembele thing. And I still don't think that's Dembele's fault, but I think people will think of it that way, right? That you needed to score four because you had a penalty, right? You had a chance to put it up four and probably close the tie out for good. Now you go back to Manchester City with an Etihad that's going to be rocking. They're going to want their get back, right? I think Pep Guardiola's going to learn from it. So, it's going to be a revised plan. It's definitely possible that City put up, three on this Madrid team. Question is, City hold off, right? Can Madrid score a goal? Is it possible for them to score? I think so. Off a counter, yeah. I don't think City's not gonna press and go for the ball. They have to. So there will be space in behind, but can they convert? That's what it's gonna be about, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Madrid have a great chance of going through though. They can still play possession football. It's in the Spanish DNA, right? The possession football is there and always will be there. The personnel you have can play possession football. And if you can possess the ball, you're wasting time constantly, right? You don't even have to score. But the question is, can you like hold City to two, right? Can Madrid hold City to two? I don't know. I just don't know. It'll be very interesting. I don't think the tie is over. I really don't. I truly do not think this tie is over. We will see what happens though. But Madrid have a great chance of going through, which is not something I would have said 24 hours ago. On the other hand, their next round they're done. But I just saw they have Bayern next. I'm looking at Bayern. I'm like, oh man, no, they're done. But if you can get through to the next round, you never know. You never know, man. This is Madrid in Europe, man. This is incredible. Incredible games today. The last two games, Arsenal somehow drawing today. No, I'm tripping. Am I? Here we go. Arsenal drawing today versus Leverkusen. Leverkusen were up for a while, and they got this very weird pen. It's not really a pen for me, but also I don't think Tillman should be diving there. Like it's just dumb for you to give the referee something to make a decision on, right? Like why would you make that kind of challenge? Now fair, you're allowed to make that challenge if it's clean, and I think it was. Like I mean, he gets a little contact with his arm on the back end, but for me, that should never be a pen. It's very incredibly soft, but Arsenal won't complain. And look, I think Arsenal's problems just got exposed even more today because they're just not. They offer nothing in offense. It feels like especially when you look at Bukayo Saka today. Absolutely poor today, man. Just I hate to use the word ghost, but that's what he was. Just non-existent danger. You felt safe if he was on the ball, which is crazy to say, right? But that's what it looked like, and you know I think when Noni Madueke came on, and he obviously got that penalty, I think it kind of shows you the kind of limitations with Saka's game because it's not game breaking enough. And I kind of have Saka in the ilk of those kind of wingers who aren't necessarily super pacey or athletic or agile in the terms of like some of their other wingers. Like if Saka's like a KVARA, and obviously KVARA had an incredible game today, so not as good as KVARA, but I digress. If Saka's like a KVARA, then I'd say like Madueke is more like a Barcola, right? Like you could see the difference in the two. You know what I mean? The Madueke is gonna come at you, and he's gonna be so, you know, pacey and flary on the ball. You know, he's gonna find solutions and dribble past his man. And I just don't know if Saka has enough of that in his game. And I think, especially in Europe, that's gonna be like against Grimaldo, one of the best left wing backs in the world. You're gonna need something like that, Against Tap Sober, you're gonna need something like that, especially when you're the star guy still, right? Teams are gonna be looking at you. They're gonna mark you out of the game. They're gonna double you. Can you do something against that? Because that's what wingers have to do now, right? KVARA dribbled past 4 people today. Barcola, same, right? Dembele, Doué. Like these are what Yamal, right? These are what the best wingers in the world do. And that's why Saka's never really been in that tier for me because yeah, he's creative. He's such a smart player, which is what I really admire about Saka. But the burst of pace, I think, is really important for a winger, and I don't know if he has that enough. The threat that he provides isn't as consistent, in my opinion. And it's tough because he's got the talent for it, but I just don't know if he's put it together yet, and he's got to find a way to do so. But at the end of the day, Arsenal. The main takeaway here is Arsenal go back to the Emirates 1-1, basically 0-0, and I think you'd imagine them to win there. Playing at home is obviously better, and you can't say Arsenal have a less talented squad than Leverkusen. I don't think that's the case, and I think usually talent, wins in the end, and obviously coaching and all that stuff too. But Arsenal just have a better squad. You'd imagine they should win. If they don't, it'd be one of the greatest upsets I think I've ever seen because this is the number one seed who won every league stage game. Right? They put 4 up on Atletico Madrid. So they should realistically win at home next week. But yeah, not a great performance today from Arsenal in any sense of the word. And Leverkusen, if they can get Arsenal in a game like this again, anything can happen. But I firmly expect Arsenal to get into the next round. But not a great showing, man. Everyone was very mediocre, very mediocre. I thought they were gonna win this game maybe 1-0, 2-1, maybe 3-2, but 3-0. They might have closed this tie up genuinely because I don't know if Sporting can come back. I mean, 3 is a lot, and I don't know if Sporting can stop Bodo from scoring over there. Even if they score 3, can they keep a clean sheet? I don't know. And playing Sporting in Portugal is very tough. Ask PSG, right? Ask Marseille, even, I think, right? But yeah, I don't see it, man. Bodo Glimt, they might be the Cinderella story. And if they come up against Arsenal, that game might be a lot closer than we think. Genuinely. But yeah, man, what a wonderful, wonderful night of European action. I had a blast. And yeah, mainly because my team won by 3 goals. But yeah, incredible, incredible stuff. Next week's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for Tuesday, man. But until then, it's your boy Ollie Footy. Until next time, we out.